Well, I'd really like to be working on that today, considering it's about 50 degrees. Well, actually it's warmer than that. It's 50 degrees inside the garage. So it's probably 55, 60 outside here in the sun. I'd really like to work on that, but I can't exactly do that yet, as I'm still waiting on parts. I've got a pair of brand new front brake rotors for it. I still gotta get wheel bearings for it. I got new rear drums for it. I want to swap out this rear axle. It's got a Dodge Dart, same as that rear axle in here, which is way too narrow. You can see those tires are stuck way in there, and that's with a 1-inch spacing. But I also don't have any shock mounts in here, so. But I got a few parts here gathered up for it. I got a nice chain steering wheel here for it. I got a set of front clear marker lights. You gotta have a 90s mini truck. You gotta have the chrome wheel well trim. So I got a full set of them. I got brand new 5-lug axle shafts for the stock rear axle, because I'm converting the stock one to 6-lug. Got a patch panel to fix all this ugly, nasty rust here, and it's all flat spotted there. So, but I got the factory, the original rear axle from that truck, sitting in the back of this Dakota. But this Dakota is stuck here now, because it sat here all winter. So all the tires are frozen. I dug it out a little bit, but I think I snapped the welds on my spider gears. As you can see, that tire is all dry, and that tire is all wet because I just attempted to move it out. So none of that's gonna happen today. So instead, we're working on the dirt again. And since it's nice out, I figured I'd drag it outside here a little bit, so I'm not getting grinding dust and stuff all in the garage, and getting Blueberry here, the 81 LeBaron coupe, all full of grinding dust and stuff. I did get the cowl. I got the pieces here. I just got them tacked in there for now. I still got to finish welding it and doing the body work. So I guess I'll be working on the dirt today. I was going to take and get these. I mean, I did finish get this one fitted better. So I was going to take and weld both of those in and get the trunk floor extensions in. But since it's so nice out, I think I'm going to take and do a bunch of grind down all along the sunroof here. I'll probably get all these welds here ground down, get all those spot welds ground down. I got stuff to do. This car needs a whole lot of work. I'm just hoping I can at least get it to a rust-free roller again by the end of this year. But the way it's going so far, I should be able to do that, as I already got quite a bit of it knocked out. So the only major issues is the front of the wheel wells here, and that should be all I got left to cut out and patch. So we'll get you set up here, and I guess we'll grind away. Well, we got the roof all ground down. Is it perfect? Nowhere close. Will it work? Sure, hopefully. Now, one was thinking about going to town and getting some epoxy primer to throw on here, but I see there's a few more spots I gotta get better with the welder, so I'll end up getting those buzzed up and push it in the garage here in a little bit and get those buzzed up and ground back down. And then for now, let's just help protect it. We'll just spritz it with some self-etching primer. But before I push it in the garage, so I don't get sand all over the garage, I'm going to take and use a little Harbor Freight blaster, and I'm actually going to blast all the rust out of here, because there's no way we're going to be able to get in there with a grinder or sander or any of that. And if I get in there with a sander, sandpaper, do it by hand, it's going to take freaking ever. So this will be the easiest way. It's just some sandblasting grit that I got from Menards. So we'll get the gun loaded up here and start blasting. Now hopefully it don't make too big of a mess loading this thing up. The only thing I got to worry is with this big scoop. So. Do a half-ass smart and do it above the bag so anything you spill go on the bag, but it'll help if you ain't got a... Ah, shit. Let's see what we got. Make sure that thing is closed. Otherwise, saying you dump in, these dumps right back out. See how long that was. You want to make sure you got a ski mask. Or a Jason mask, whatever you want to call it. Done it. I cleaned up my mess from sandblasting, and I made an even bigger mess again. You can see I started sweeping, but I figured since I had the car pretty much outside and I was already sandblasting, I figured I would take and sandblast the back part of the trunk floor here where I couldn't get to when the cross brace is in there. I sandblasted and painted the bottom of the car a couple years ago now, and I could not get to this section because of that rear cross rail. So I figured to go ahead sandblast that, and then I sandblasted the lip here where that cross rail is gonna weld to, so I can spritz some weld-through primer on that. Hopefully cam won't be plugged up here, but I figured this way I can get some paint on it, get it protected and coated the correct way, and then I can go weld that cross rail on and actually be done with that part. But of course I can't weld that on until I get the trunk floor extensions and all that crap in, so it'll be a little bit, but it's another step of the way. Do the lip with the weld through, and then we'll take and do the rest of it with some the self-etching primer. Progress, people, progress. Small steps, but progress is still progress. Now, if I had the time right now and the money on me right now, I would go and get some epoxy primer and actually seal it up the correct way, but this will work for now. I can always go back later on and maybe next week or something like that I can go and actually take and get it all etch prime or epoxy primed and get some sealer on it. That way that part will be protected and I can actually, well, I guess I do got some black I could take and, so I'll be doing the underside of the car black, so I could take it actually, once I get some epoxy primer, I could actually get that in paint and then undercoat it. I'm gonna have to ponder on this now that I got sand everywhere. I feel like I went to the beach and back. So we'll get the garage here cleaned up a little bit, get all the sand outside, and get the car back inside, and probably start welding. Maybe. So I think I should technically be able to start getting the get some more of the weld through primer spritzed in here. I should be able to take and actually get these parts here welded in, and technically once I get these welded in, I can take and get the trunk floor, get these pieces here, the trunk floor extension, get those welded back in, and if I get that welded in, I'll be happy tonight. But we'll get it cleaned up here and we'll go from there. Well, we got the corner pieces in, so that's another check off the list of many to go yet. And got the roof all ground down, and I ended up taking the DA to it just to help clean it up a little bit better. And there's a big scratch right here, so I took it and it's almost down to the metal. It's at least into the primer here, so got that all sanded out, feathered that out, and then ain't too bad. So we'll hit it with some more of that etch primer. And the nice thing about working on the roof of a sunroof car is you can stand in the sunroof and you can work all the way around it and get it the whole roof pretty damn easy. Uh-oh, I think my tip's getting plugged up. Maybe not. It will be a nice feeling once I get all this rust repair and get all the fabrication done, and I can actually get to doing actual body work on it and get it in paint. Not exactly sure what I'm going to do for paint, other than that it's going to be covered in flake, like bass boat flake. So I got three pounds of chrome flake to put on it, so it's going to be well covered in flake. And then I want to do some 70s style patterns. I don't know if I'm going to do like body not body panels, but what the hell is it called? Maybe it is body panels. I don't know. I'm out of brain for it. But I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I know it's gonna be patterned out, but how, I'm not exactly sure. And if I'm going to do it, or if I'm going to have a buddy do it, because I'm not very artistic when it comes to stuff like that. So we shall see what will be in store for that. But I know I can at least get it base coated and hopefully get the flake laid down myself, because that I can do. It's just the artwork that I can't do. But that's the update on the dirt so far. And there's some bare spots, metal spots I got too, so. But we got here all in etch primer, all the bare steel. Right there anyways. The corner pieces here, I just put a few spot welds in it because I'm not sure if I'm going to have to remove it and position it. You know, it's got to be positioned a little differently, or what I'm going to do there yet. So I didn't get it too well there, but I'll get that fit up nice and tight there. And I still got to figure out how the hell I'm going to fix this. I'm really thinking on just taking and slicing this at an angle and slicing a little pie out of here and hammer this down or something. I don't know. I wish I would have known that before I welded it in, but I got too antsy and I welded it in. Lesson learned. That should probably do it for this episode. I didn't record a whole lot because grinding and sanding ain't really too interesting to watch, so I didn't record any of that, but I did get some done. I got some work done, which is better than none, which I know some people that have been slacking. I ain't gonna name names, but if you watch this, you know who you are. But like, subscribe, share. I know there's a lot of you guys that aren't subscribed, so please subscribe and let me know what you think. Later. we're getting somewhere. I decided to take and put work on the trunk extension on the right side here and get that in. I got the corner pieces. I got both of those all welded in. I don't know if you saw that in that time lapse or not, but got those welded in. Now I'm working on getting the trunk extension in. I got the little quarter panel, the brace here. I got that. It's not tacked into place, but it's wedged into place. And then I tacked on, I just threw some tacks on the outer quarter skin here. But I see apparently the trunk extension is still a little bit too long. So I don't know how I'm gonna have to go and cut that, because this is the factory piece and it looks like it's got a little bit of a kink right there kicked out. I could probably leave it, kind of wedge it back in place, and then just make a filler piece for in here. I know it's not exactly the correct way to do it, but it is kind of is what it is. Looks like I gotta go up with this. I'll cut my tacks. At least probably leave that very end one. Cut the other 3. It looks like I gotta raise it up here just a little bit. But that little bit should make these line up here. But I gotta try and get the trunk extension wedged up into place, because you can see it overhangs, hangs down too low. Because I got the skin butted up to the wheel well here where it's supposed to be. I still gotta trim this right here, because here's my screws for the chrome trim, so I gotta keep those. I'll have to probably make at least 2 more. We'll have to see where the holes are on the trim. But my dilemma is this corner right here. I don't know exactly how that was originally. I don't know if I just hammer this piece out a little bit so it kind of matches up with the wheel well. Actually, how much of a gap there is right there. I wonder if I take and slide it forward a little bit. That should probably give me my, probably get this correct. I think we're onto something here. Now it's just taking off a whole lot of clamps. Cause I got these ones in here to pinch get the pinch weld closed. And of course, this 2 end ones here are to hold it in place. But I do got pretty good sized gap. Granted, this is all bent over, but I should be able to slide that forward. Alright, we'll try this and we'll come back. Alright, well, that kind of helped and kind of didn't help. I did get the damn cords. Got the quarter tack here, so that way that's kind of at the right transition there. And then I can't get if I really push on it, I can get it to close that gap. But I still got quite of a gap between the trunk extension and the quarter panel there, the wheel well lip, right here. And I can't pull the trunk extension, here forward more, because it's already got quite a gap right here now. see how much more forward the trunk extension is compared to the trunk floor. So I was able to take and current clamp this part here closed, and I can hammer this part here in so it'll match up with that. So that's no big deal. Same with the corner down here. You can see the light right here. That I can hammer that back down, no big deal. But it's this part here that I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with there. So just weld it in place and go ahead and just beat the wheel well lip here to match up with the trunk floor here, or I don't know. But then I'm still going to be dealing with the gap between the trunk extension and the quarter panel here. Granted, this is an aftermarket piece and this is a homemade piece, so granted I'm not working with all original or perfectly stamped sheet metal here. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to be doing here, but it is nice to see the the quarter panel piece tacked into place. It's starting to look more like a car on this side. Now I just gotta get that side done. But we're getting there. We're making progress. And then get some of this shit out of the car here. And I'm trying to figure out the hydraulic pump mounting situation here. Because I'm thinking about having it on that shelf there between the, because there's a divider that screws onto here and comes up. Actually latches on right here. So I'm thinking about having the pumps mount in that section. The back seat actually sits somewhere in here. But kind of, it's at a little bit of an angle, I do believe. Which now I'm looking at, hopefully it'll clear my plaque. But back to the hydraulic mounting. I got the bridge that runs above the rear axle is right about here. Doing some measuring through the shock mount holes, I was able to get a pretty good estimate on where it's sitting in here. And then I screwed this on, transferred the measurements to this, because I'm going to have to go through this and through the trunk floor. But I don't know if I'm going to have the pump so that it'll be facing this way, if I should V them. Here, if I can grab the... I don't know if I should have it so that they're, V'd. So that they're V'd kind of like this. So it'd be like the tank on this side, motor on this side, same thing. Or so that the tanks are together and the motors are out, so it'll be facing this way, somewhere in here. Or if I should do like having both kind of angled this way, or so one will be over here, one will be over here, to have motor and tank, and then motor and tank on this side. Or I don't know what I'm going to do there. There's so many decisions, and then I got to figure out how I'm going to securely mount them through, because I'm going to take and weld mounts to the top of the bridge. But I got to figure out how I'm going to take and make it so that they come through this part, and I'll be able to secure the pumps to that, because I want it all removable. So for any reason I got to take and remove it, I can pull the pumps out, pull this piece off, or whatever. And then I gotta find some bulkhead fittings, because I'm gonna run bulkhead fittings through the floor, so that way all my connections are nice and clean, because they'll be hard lined on the top side here, inside the car, and then probably hose on the underside just to keep it flexible and whatnot. So I'll have to bring the pumps out and do a couple mock-ups on here and see what you guys think. I'll go grab them and... Alright, well, we got the pumps. I went and grabbed those. I also had to grab the wheel wells, because that kind of determines on how far, you know, how wide I can go. But I don't know if I should have them. I mean, I guess I got the battery racks. I kind of threw those into place, but I got those angled kind of at each other, so thinking I should probably angle the pumps the same way so everything's kind of symmetrical. But for whatever reason, I was also thinking on running the pumps this way, or so that both tanks are on the inside here and the motors are towards the trunk, or flip-flopping this around and have them facing this way. There's just so many options. I mean, I could flip that one around so that they're both facing the other way. I don't know. I don't know. My brain's been working, which is hard for me. But I'm trying to figure out what'll look good. But I don't know. It's just, I mean, granted, this is kind of a crazy pump setup I got going here anyways, with the Porky's bullet tanks rather than having just the flat back or whatever. And then I got the bullet end caps, the bullet dump covers, coil covers, and I went and hardlined it all. I did make all these hard lines myself. So, oh, and I got the old school slowdowns, zigzag style slowdowns. So, I mean, it's a different setup to begin with, but I mean, I don't know. We'll have to. You guys will have to tell me what you think would look best. I'm kind of digging them sitting this way. Granted, it's not very symmetrical because the zigzags are on one side, the slowdowns, rather than, I don't know. But like I said, I got both battery racks are pointed towards the back of the car, kinda. So I don't know. Well, you can't tell, but I did figure out the hydraulic pump placement on this thing, and there's not a whole lot of room to work. 'Cause my main goal was to be able to keep this rear divider in and be able to still have the back seat be fully functional. So, as this is a fold-on seat one, that is the only way they would fit, and it is still pretty damn tight. If I flip this back up, you You see the tank is almost touching on the back of the, damn near touching the back of the seats there. And my lines, the hard lines there, are almost touching that divider wall. But I wanted to, that's where I've been wanting to put them, so when you look through the back window, you can see them. And then I can always take and fold down the back seat and fold the divider wall down here, and you'll be able to see all the way through still. Which is also why I didn't want the hydraulic cylinders coming through this part like a traditional lowrider would. So instead, I mounted them on the rear axle upside down, which you've seen in, I was going to show you, but if you watch any of the other episodes, you've seen it there on how I did that and whatnot. But I had to come out late just to come and figure this out. But being that this is a fold-down seat car, that's the way I wanted to. I wanted it to be different, but still functional, if that kind of makes sense. And then I will still have the spare tire in here, and as you've seen in another episode, I believe, I'm still going to be running the factory bumper jack. Because even with the battery racks in here, I can still run that. Whether or not I'll actually be able to use the bumper jack with all the extra weight in here, I'm not sure, but if not, it's kind of, it's part of the look. All in the details. Now, if I could get that jack chromed out, that'd be even more gooder. But that'll be it for this episode. Let me know what you think. I think that looks good. So yeah, let me know what you think, and like, subscribe, share, and we'll see you next time.